and welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right, let's see. Here we go. We're all ready to go. Let's break out here. What do we got around here? Not much. Just a noisy cow in the neighborhood. All right. Let's close this up. And we need to go this way. All right. And I'm going to start us off with a boat right off the get-go because I'd rather go straight across as opposed to around. And anyway, let's see. This size of the world, this Journey to the FarLands world is currently weighing in at 1,380.73 megabytes. Oh, chicken? Oh, anyway. And so it's growing at a decent pace. Granted, it would have grown a lot more had I managed to stick to the attempted schedule that I had set up with this, of the idea of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the bonus episode, as it were, on Sundays. But suffice it to say that things conspired to prevent that from happening. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It just didn't work out. But that's all right, because I'm back at it. I'm right here, and we're not giving up. We are taking this sucker to the FarLands. Doggone right we are. Anyway, let's see. Oh, that's right. I needed to be cutting wood today. Just grab one of these once in a while, and yeah, there we go. Anyhow, well, let's see. What else going on? Oh, yes. Kerbal Space Program. They are enjoying a lot of good, well-deserved success with their new release, their 1.0 release. And actually, they have released more than that, because after the 1.0 release, I believe a day or 2 days later, they released 1.0.1 to address some further changes and refinements that needed to be made, which is normal enough. I mean, you release a major version and then you start getting user feedback and so on, and that can easily often work out to mean another release. Let's just go around this way. And, you know, that warrants another release to address these issues and fine-tune some things. And it's kind of funny. I was in the process of downloading the 1.0.1 release. The download was almost finished, and I was reading the Kerbal Space Program forum at the time while I was waiting for the download. And I saw the notice go up that 1.0.2 had been released. Apparently there was a couple of things that I probably should have made it into 1.0.1, but didn't. And so apparently they did a quick they adjusted some things, did a quick rebuild, and released the 1.0.2 patch. And I've been playing with that 1.0.2 patch somewhat. You know, not yet thinking about recording 1.0.2, not even close. I've got the long season save, which is in 0.90, and it's going to stay in 0.90 for a while at least, for quite a while at least, because that particular save uses a pretty fair number of mods, and it can't be updated to any other version until such time as those mods are all updated. And that can take 2 or 3 weeks at least, minimum. And then, of course, there is whether or not I actually feel like doing 2 or 3 days worth of work getting all those mods together and getting them all installed and configured and making sure that they all play nice together still, because you never know when things might change that could prevent that. So that LP is going to stay in 0.90, but I have been playing around with the 1.0.2 update. I started a career game, and I'm playing through it a little here and a little there, and well, actually a fair amount. I spent a lot of time in a sandbox save, testing out designs and so on that I will use in the career save and so on, and then figuring out about changes that have happened, and so forth. And so far, things are looking pretty good. I have to admit that there is a few changes that I think maybe might be just a tad bit too far in the way of how far the adjustments were made, like the heating issue, not just re-entry heat. I mean, yeah, okay, re-entry heat, that needs to happen. And in 1.0.2, re-entry heat, while there, isn't necessarily quite as severe as maybe it should be, because I have already had capsules going through re-entry at a pretty high speed, at a fairly steep re-entry angle, and surviving just fine without the use of a heat shield. And so, I think maybe the re-entry heating needs to be spiked up, beefed up just a little bit. On the other hand, the heat generated by the LVN nuclear rocket engines, those generate an enormous amount of heat. And it's kind of a little frustrating, because while there are heat shields for the heat generated by re-entry, there is no stock heat radiator part that is designed, that is specifically for the purpose of radiating accumulated heat due to the operation of something like the nuclear engines, or for that matter, the mining drill, or anything that's going to generate a lot of heat. And that doesn't quite make sense to me. I mean, you've got re-entry and heat shields for re-entry. Then if you've got a part like a nuclear rocket engine that's going to generate an enormous amount of heat, it only makes sense to me, at least. Of course, that's to me, and that's just me, and that doesn't necessarily mean that just because I think it makes sense that it does, but seriously, really, it does. Okay, let's just do this and be done with it. There we go. So, now I know there are supposedly some solutions in stock game, in the unmodified game, that you can do for heat, for like relieving the heat off of rocket engines, especially the nuclear engines and so on. One option is to use solar panels mounted very close to them to radiate heat. Another option is to use sections of wing mounted fuel tanks and use that. The problem with the wing thing is that wings are kind of, wing sections, even small ones, are kind of large. There. And it just strikes me as wrong to have to put sections of wing on a part of a ship that is never going to be used in atmosphere. It strikes me as completely wrong. And, it just makes sense to me that for something like that, there should be a part that is dedicated specifically to radiating heat. Now, there are mods to add such things. There's one, I believe it's called heat management or heat control or something like that. And there's a couple of others that I can't think of the name of right now, but they also add heat radiator panels and systems for like heat pipes and stuff to pump heat around and get it to where it can be radiated away from the ship and prevent overheating from being a thing. I don't mind that the mechanic is there because it's realistic and reasonable that it should be there. I just think that it should have come with stock heat radiators. It really should have. And I don't mean the wing workaround or the solar panel workaround or stuff like that. That's a workaround. That's not an actual solution. An actual solution would have been a part that was dedicated specifically for performing that function. But anyway, I really need to stop ranting about that. It's not that big of an issue. I've found a few workarounds. My one pet ship design that I've worked with and made it a point to be able to use ever since 0.18. It's flying in 1.0.2. And I will even point out that that's without the use of aerodynamic nose cones and things like that. I did not use any aerodynamic fairings. I didn't use any aerodynamic nose cones on it. It's just still blunt-faced, brute forcing it through the air. And it does pretty well. I did have to make some changes to it, but it's working. It's probably not a ship that anybody would ever use that much in a career mode game, though, because the thing in well, for one thing, the parts required to build it, a lot of them come from the later side of the tech tree. And there are enough parts on it. At launch, it's got like 445 parts on it. And it's the cost to build it. If you were playing it in career, it costs about 250,000 funds to launch one of them. That's kind of a bit much. Unless, of course, by the time you're in late career, you're swimming in money. I would kind of hope that you would be. That by the time you're in the later part of career, when you've got all of the tech tree unlocked and you can go anywhere and do just about anything you want. And so I would think that by then, a player should be swimming in money. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out by getting to that point myself. And that's going to take a while. Oops, emergency pause. Alrighty, I'm back. I don't know what it is, but it seems like I can go hours. I can go most of an entire day without ever having to cough or have any kind of a tickle in my throat or any kind of silliness like that. And then I sit down to record video, and all of a sudden it's like, am I allergic to recording or something, or what? Because that's when I'm most likely to start coughing, and it's really annoying sometimes, I tell you. Just sit down, start recording, and as soon as that Fraps frame rate indicator in the top right corner of the video frame turns red, which indicates recording has happened, that's when the tickle in the back of the throat starts to build. And all of a sudden, that's when the cough is going to happen. Or that's when the sinuses will start to stop up and or drip and or get other nasty sinusy things going on that are going to make you stop and make weird, unpleasant noises into your microphone. Yeah. That's when it's most likely to happen, is after you hit the button that starts the recording. I don't know why that is, but it's absolutely guaranteed to be true. It's almost like it's some kind of a subset of Murphy's Law. If you are recording, you will cough. You will sneeze. You will sniffle. And so on. I don't know. I'm certain. I know I'm not the only one to have had that issue crop up frequently. But there you go. Anyway, I should also remind and so on that with this episode, this is episode 50, and while it is delayed by almost a week beyond when it should have happened, excuse me, I hope you didn't hear that, but there was an unpleasant noise in the back of my throat just now. And anyway, what I had been talking about was that after episode 50, I would be doing a Journey to the FarLands live stream. And I really very much want to do this. So it's going to happen. And now that this is episode 50, I need to get that scheduled up and decide when that's going to be and so on. And that will be probably announced in tomorrow's vlog. So now you have a reason to actually look for my vlog tomorrow. As if you didn't, because I know that even if you don't care what it is I'm saying, there's a lot of people that just want to sit and listen to me talk. Okay, that was egotistical as all get out, but I've actually had people tell me that in public and private messages, that they just like to sit and listen to the sound of my voice. It doesn't matter what it is I'm saying, they want to listen to me talk. And this is some of the same people that say things like, man, you sound just like Optimus Prime, or you sound like Sean Connery, or any number of other things that, while I think it's extremely cool that they think that, I don't hear it myself. I really don't. I don't think I sound like that. I think I just sound like me. But I guess I'm not listening to it from outside of myself either. Anyway, quick, brief ego side trip ended, I hope. Because that did sound egotistical as all get out, so please don't think that I'm full of myself. I'm just full of, well, you know what I'm full of. More than likely, that's probably what I'm really full of. Anyway. And the thought of live streaming has also occurred with this new release of KSP. I'm thinking what I might just do is to start not a daily live stream, but say a once a week or something, or once or maybe twice a week live stream. In which I would be playing KSP, the new version, maybe even a career mode save. I don't know. I haven't quite decided that. I'm tempted to just go with a science mode save. Science mode, or as I've seen it referred to, classic career, because the original career mode was just science. It was get science, unlock the tech, and money wasn't a thing yet. I'm tempted, very tempted, to go with one of those, just simply because I had a lot of fun with that. I really enjoyed that, and there's a thing about the career save with money in it that it can, at least has the potential, to turn into something of a grind, where you are grinding away at repetitive tasks that you'd really rather not be doing in order to build up the funds and resources to do those tasks that you want to do. And so I'm still kind of on the fence about that. I am, like I said, playing a career game in a strictly off-camera, let's try this out, learn about the new version kind of thing. And so far, it hasn't really taken me off the fence yet. Still not decided. But, well, I'll just keep at it and see how it develops. Let me guess. Yeah, it's time to make more boats. It's also time to cut another tree down. Come on. There we go. Okay. Well, that's pretty much what's going on there. I haven't seen a whole lot of comment or voting on the whether or not I should get a Minecraft Wolf issue. The few people that have said something about it have expressed opinions in favor of it, but it currently looks like it's going to take quite a while to gather even close to, or even half of, 100 votes one way or the other. 100 votes at all, never mind what direction they were. And so I think that issue is going to kind of hang for a while. Alright, another boat. This time the horizon hasn't filled in while I got it out. So maybe we'll get some serious progress out of this one. And, oh, that's right. Another thing is I did finally get a new episode of KSP uploaded. Episode 17 of the long season is up. And I pretty much know what I'm going to be doing for, or attempting or whatever, for episode 18. And then probably a good chunk of 19 and more. So that is going to be happening. And what I'm going to aim for, I'm going to try very hard to avoid the concept of scheduling and commitment to a particular number of episodes per time period or anything like that. I've learned very much not to do that, because it always ends up with me failing to keep up with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for one episode per week, Kerbal Space Program, and at least one episode per week of Skyrim, and also an episode per week of City Skylines. That's right, I haven't forgotten about that one either. Just assorted things and stuff. You know how it is. And so, now let's go around that way. It looks like the hill will have a more gradual decline. All right. Yes, much better, more gradual, although still fraught with sudden drops. There we go. So, let's see. Oh yes, I was talking about what I'm aiming for with video making in terms of games. Let's see. KSP, Skyrim, and City Skylines, at least one of each per week. And those will be produced after I have managed to put out at least one, either Hermitcraft Infinity or Hermitcraft Vanilla. So those will be the primary thing for whichever day, and then the other games will be kind of a little bonus content, if you will. And you know, I'm aiming to try to do those at least once a week, and if I can, that's great, awesome, fantastic. But if I can't, well, there are times when that's going to be the case. I almost said there were almost times that's going to be the face. And I'm thinking, what? Where did that come from? How could that be the face? The face of the situation? I don't know. Anyway. I am mostly, right now, I am really enjoying the warmer weather. The fact that even now, even late at night, the lowest the temperature's going to get is about like 60 degrees. It's made for a lot more relaxing sleep. And it has eliminated the need to bundle up in 2 and 3 layers of clothing and then cover up with all of the covers and so on, and still lay there in a freeze for half an hour before body heat starts to collect underneath of all of that, and you sort of feel sort of kind of almost like you might someday be warm. It's nice to not have to have that extreme going on anymore. Still, however, very mindful of the fact that between now and when cold weather starts up again, I would love to come up with some way to guarantee that I don't have any issues in supplying my furnace with the propane it needs to keep me nice and comfortable. You know, I don't want to keep it like 80 or 90 degrees in here. Like, I know there are a lot of people in the world that do like to keep the inside of their house at 80 or 90 degrees. And those are houses I don't particularly want to go into because of that. But I prefer to keep it around 65 to 70 degrees, and I'd like it to still be that way even in the depths of the coldest part, the cold time of the year. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable expectation. All right, well, another day, well, another episode, another 3 days actually. Oh, I have a snowball. Okie doke. Yeah, that's what a snowball is supposed to sound like. Alright, let's see. Get the beds made. Looks like tomorrow, or next episode, I'm going to be collecting wood and wool. There we go. All right. Oh, hey, let's put some light on the issue here and finish digging this out. I left it 2 tall and it needs to be 3 tall. And then I was late putting up a torch. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I ought to pick up my workbench. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for all of your support, both the old basic moral support of, hey, keep in there and stick with it, and you'll win one way or another, sooner or later. And also supporting the fundraiser for Child's Play Charity and the fundraiser for Family in Need and so on, which you can get more information about at the official Journey to the FarLands website. And so, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.